Stop right there. I need you to stop scrolling right now, because what you're looking at would cost you $1 million in Frisco, Texas, $1.5 million in Franklin, Tennessee, close to $2 million if it were sitting in a comparable suburb in Atlanta. I know exactly what it costs because I run those comparisons every single week for families relocating to Central Arkansas. And every single time, the reaction is the same: disbelief, followed very quickly by curiosity. And then once they actually get here and walk through the neighborhood, a level of buyer excitement I've almost never seen in any other market. What if I told you that 4 bedrooms, 3-car garage, top rated schools, and a private golf club designed by the same architect who created Pinehurst? Number 2, essentially in your backyard, is available right here in Chenal Valley, Little Rock, Arkansas, for under $580,000. So here's the part that should stop you completely cold. Atlas Van Lines, the most widely cited source for national migration data, just released their 2025 study, and Arkansas ranked number 1 in the entire country for inbound movers. Not top 10, not top 5, number 1, with a 68% inbound move rate. More people are moving into the state than out of it by a wider margin than any other state in the country. People are figuring this out right now. The only question is whether you figure it out before the prices catch up to the quality. I'm going to give you 5 reasons Chenal Valley belongs at the top of your list. Let's go. I'm Andrew Gresham with Keller Williams Realty in Little Rock, Arkansas. I've lived in this city for 37 years, and I've been selling real estate here for the last 5. In that time, I've watched Little Rock grow, change, and in some parts, genuinely transform. I've seen neighborhoods cycle through their seasons, and through all of it, through every market, Chenal Valley has been one community I've consistently shown to out-of-state buyers first. You know why? Because nothing does the convincing for me the way Chenal does. I don't have to sell it. I just have to get people here. The neighborhood sells itself every time, without exception. Hit subscribe right now, because this channel is your inside track on Central Arkansas real estate every single week. The data, the neighborhoods, the deals. Let's count down all 5. At number 5, the master planned infrastructure that makes daily life feel effortless in a way most suburbs never pull off. Number 4, the school zone that families are literally relocating to Arkansas specifically to access. 3, a country club lifestyle, a real one, at a price that does not require a country club income. 2, new construction options that virtually no other desirable neighborhood in Little Rock can still offer. And number 1, the price to quality gap that I believe is the most compelling value equation in the entire American South right now. And I have the current market data to back it up. Coming in at number 5, I want to start here because I think infrastructure is the foundation that makes every other thing on this list possible. And I don't think it gets talked about enough. Chenal Valley is 4,800 acres of intentionally designed community in West Little Rock. Not suburban sprawl, not a developer's vision that ran out of money in phase 3 and got finished by someone else with different priorities. This community was designed with a master plan. It has been executed against that plan for over 30 years, and it is sustained today by deed restrictions and a community standards, that framework that has remained consistent the entire time. When you drive in for the first time, you feel the difference before you can even articulate what it is. Something is just right about the way it's organized. The moment you turn onto Chenal Parkway itself, wide, landscape median, mature tree canopies on both sides, maintained streetscaping, you understand you are in a community that takes itself seriously. There are over 40 distinct sub-neighborhoods within Chenal, each with its own character, price range, and architectural feel, but they are all held together by a consistent quality framework that does not bend. That's rare. In most master plan communities, there's one nice entrance, and then everything starts to fall off after the first phase. Not here. The commercial infrastructure on Chenal Parkway is the other piece that people underestimate until they live here. Within 5 minutes of virtually any front door in Chenal, you have Whole Foods Market, multiple outstanding independent restaurants, specialty coffee, full-service grocery, a world-class fitness center, top-tier medical clinic, urgent care, dental, every major retail category you might need on a weekly basis. You can live your entire week, groceries, fitness, dining, healthcare, errands, within that 5-minute radius. For families with busy schedules and high standards, That kind of daily convenience has compounding value that never gets old. And the road network inside Chenal is thoughtfully designed with multiple parkway access points, which eliminates the morning bottlenecks that make so many suburban master plan communities miserable to actually live in. This is a community where the planning actually shows in the living. Here's what I hear consistently from buyers who move here from places like the Woodlands, Alpharetta, or even Scottsdale, communities that are often held up as the gold standard for suburban planning. This is what suburban is actually supposed to be. That's not something I say. That's what people say when they get here. And that says everything. Coming in at number 4, I'm going to say something that sounds dramatic, and I want you to hear it knowing I watched this play out in real conversations with real families. Repeatedly, I've had families choose Little Rock over Nashville, over Raleigh, North Carolina, over Boise, Idaho, even over Austin, Texas, specifically, deliberately, because of the school zone attached to Chenal Valley. And they're not sacrificing anything. They're making an intelligent, financially sophisticated decision that also happens to deliver excellent education for their children. Let me walk you through exactly how that math works. Chenal Valley is served primarily by the Pulaski County Special School District, zoned to Chenal Elementary, Robinson Middle School, and Robinson High School. These schools carry strong academic ratings, robust extracurricular programming across athletics and the arts, and they operate within one of the most invested, most engaged residential communities in the state of Arkansas. The parent involvement here is real. The community backing is real. These are the schools where the community has decided education is a priority, and it shows. Now here's the comparison I make every single week, and I'm going to make it to you right now. Franklin, Tennessee, one of the premier family suburbs in greater Nashville, outstanding schools, master plan communities, the kind of place that checks all the same boxes as Chenal. What does a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home in a good Franklin neighborhood cost you right now? You're looking at between $700,000 to $900,000. That is the current market. Chenal Valley, Little Rock, same checklist, master plan community, strong school zone, private golf club, full commercial amenity corridor, beautiful home on mature streets. That same 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, $480,000 to $580,000, depending on the neighborhood. Right now, today, I want you to really sit with that number, because that is not a rounding error. That is not a market anomaly. That is the permanent structural reality of what it costs to buy quality in a market that has not yet been fully discovered versus one that has. And that gap is real money. Money that goes back into your family's financial life, your retirement account, your children's college fund, your quality of life, every single month, forever. I've watched families run this math on my whiteboard in my office and get visibly emotional. Not because they're sad, because they're relieved. They've been grinding in an overpriced market, telling themselves it's what they have to do for their family's future. And then they realize they had another option the whole time. That moment is something I never get tired of. And number 3, I need to spend some real time on this one because I think the Chenal Country Club is the single most underrated amenity attached to any neighborhood in the American South. And I say that having been to a lot of country clubs in a lot of cities. This is a Donald Ross original. If you know golf, you already know what that means. If you don't, Donald Ross is the architect behind Pinehurst No. 2, the course that has hosted more USGA championship than any other in the country. He designed Seminole Golf Club in Florida, which is on virtually every serious ranking of the greatest courses in the entire world. His portfolio spans more than 400 courses, and his genius was an instinct for natural terrain, shot-making variety, and the kind of design that rewards you differently every round you play it. The Chenal Country Club carries that DNA. It has been updated and refined over the decades while preserving Ross's original design intent, and it sits right here inside Chenal Valley. Beyond the golf, you've got first-class tennis facilities, a beautiful aquatics complex that the whole family uses, a full fitness center, and a social calendar that makes the club the genuine community gathering institution for West Little Rock most established families. This is not a club people join for the status. This is a club people join because it becomes the infrastructure of their social life, the place where they know their neighbors by name, whether their kids grew up together in the summers, where relationships that last decades get built over the same tables and fairways. I'll tell you what a comparable private club membership costs in Dallas Dallas or Atlanta, it's significantly more than what you'll pay at the Chenal Country Club. And the homes surrounding those clubs cost 2 to 3 times what comparable Chenal homes cost. The golf course quality is comparable. The club experience is comparable. The community feel is comparable. The price is not even close. For buyers who want the country club lifestyle, not as a trophy, but as a genuine community institution that enriches their actual daily life, Chenal Valley delivers it at a price point that simply does not exist in any comparable market in the country. Number 2. This is a reason that I don't think gets near enough attention, and it matters enormously for a specific kind of buyer. The buyer who has spent months looking at existing inventory, getting frustrated, and starting to wonder if the right home even exists. Here's the reality of Little Rock real estate. Most of the best, most beloved, most desirable neighborhoods in this city were built out 40 to 70 years ago. The Height, Midtown, the older parts of West Little Rock. Beautiful neighborhoods, great bones, wonderful communities, and essentially zero new construction. If you want to be in one of those neighborhoods, you're buying what's there. You're working with what someone else built decades ago. Chenal is different. Chenal is still building. There are still lots. Custom builders are still active, and that changes the entire calculus of a buyer who wants to be in the great community without compromising on the home itself. Let me break down what the new construction landscape actually looks like right now, because there are really 2 different experiences available here. Production builders in the $350,000 to $500,000 range. These are well-designed, thoughtfully planned homes with strong standard packages, open concept layout, solid finishes, energy efficient systems, good closet space, real garages. These are not starter homes. These are family homes built to a quality standard that is genuinely competitive with anything being built in comparably priced markets in the South. Custom builders on large upper Chenal lot, this is where it gets really impressive. Some of the finest custom home builders in Arkansas are actively working in Chenal right now, producing homes with white oak hardwood quartz throughout, primary down floor plans, 3-car garages, outdoor living spaces that rival anything in Texas or Tennessee, and doing it at a price per square foot that would be impossible to replicate in those markets. The financing side has also gotten significantly more accessible. Construction to permanent loan products have simplified and streamlined the new build process dramatically from what it used to be. What was once a complicated, intimidating 2-stage financing process is now far more approachable for qualified buyers. Your lender can walk you through it, and I can connect you with the right ones. The bottom line on this reason is simple. If you have been frustrated by existing inventory, if you have been compromising on things you shouldn't have to compromise on, Chenal gives you the option to stop compromising. Build exactly what you want in exactly the community you want to be in. That combination, new construction in a 30-year-old established community with this school zone and these amenities, is something you genuinely cannot find anywhere else in Little Rock. And coming in at number 1, we saved this for last, because I want it to land the way it lands when I say it in person. Across a table to a family that has just flown in from out of state and is sitting out in my office wondering, is this real? Let me give you the specific comparison. Using current 2026 market data, numbers I am working with right now: 4-bedroom, 3 full bathroom, 3-car garage, top-rated school zone, private golf club designed by Donald Ross right next door. Whole Foods, 5 minutes from your front door. 88 miles of river trail within 10 minutes. 15 minutes from downtown Little Rock's full restaurant arts and entertainment scene. That is the package. That is the life. I want you to look at those numbers. Really look at them, because what you're seeing is not explained by any meaningful difference in quality of life. The Chenal school zone performs comparably to those suburban school zones. The country club is real, and it is excellent. The restaurant scene in Little Rock, while it's not Nashville in sheer volume, is genuinely surprisingly great. The outdoor recreation access, the river trail, Pinnacle Mountain, and all the many lakes that we have around Little Rock is in many ways superior to what you would have in those comparison markets. The gap is almost entirely because Little Rock has not yet been fully discovered, but here is what I need you to understand. That discovery is happening right now. Arkansas ranked number 1 in the entire country for inbound migration in 2025, according to Atlas Van Lines. A 68% inbound move rate, the wave that already transformed Bentonville and Northwest Arkansas over the last decade. The corporate relocations, the remote workers, the families doing the math. That wave is not confined to the northwest corner of the state. It is moving. And Central Arkansas, which offers everything Bentonville offers in terms of quality of life at an even lower price point, is next. I've been in this market, living here for 37 years. I've watched cycles come and go, and I will tell you with complete conviction that the buyers and families who move to Chenal Valley in the next 2 to 3 years are going to look back on this moment the way people who bought in Boise, Idaho in 2016 look back on there. The way people who got into Chattanooga before the national press started writing about it look back on theirs with enormous gratitude that they saw it when they did, that they acted when the data was pointing at it and before everyone else arrived. The window is open right now. I do not know how long it'll stay open. I'm Andrew Gresham with Keller Williams Realty in Little Rock, Arkansas. The best kept secret in American real estate is right here on this boulevard. And it is genuinely my honor every single time I get to introduce someone to it for the first time. Call me, email me, DM me. Let's go. Subscribe. Share this with someone who is making a relocation decision right now. And I will see you right here next week.